Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogadima and thank you for stopping by to watch this video. Today I'll be talking about living in the abroad. As an African who has lived in Africa, expectations versus reality. The first expectation you get by yourself, the one you expect of yourself and from your people back home, is that you are going to the abroad and you're going to make money. Money, like money. It's gonna flow. Make it rain, make it rain, make it rain. Hey, it is not as easy as you think. You don't come to a foreign land, even if you have all the certifications, have all the training and skill, you don't expect to start making money immediately. £100 is not easy to get. People expect money from their loved ones. They expect you to start sending money back home immediately you arrive, that kind of thing. Or they expect you to just be rich, be wealthy enough. But that is not how the system works in developed societies. You don't just get wealthy. Even the wealthy people pay tax. By the time you remove the tax from what you earn, you don't really earn much as you should. Everyone in the abroad is not working a better job than people back home. Because you came to the UK or to the US does not mean you're doing better than people back home. Some migrants get peanut as salaries because they're trying to start from the scratch, because they're trying to just make anything they can make by doing little jobs here and there. By the time you start paying their bills, you pay bills here, like bills go choke, it go choke you. You pay for TV every month, you pay for water, you pay for everything. So by the time you pay all these things, you realize that you don't have much money to fall back to. You don't have much money to save. Second thing is you cannot find food everywhere in this country. In the UK, for example, certain cities do not have Nigerian or Indian kind of food stuff in their shops. You won't see egusi, you won't see stockfish, you won't see crayfish, you won't see eba, gari, you won't see those things. You have to get them from home. And when what you get from home is exhausted, it becomes very expensive to buy from London or from other cities. So it's pretty difficult to get food here. And when you finally get food, it's quite expensive. And then you end up eating burgers, chicken, processed meat, processed food, and all that. And it's not really nice because you are an African and you don't know how to eat those kind of. And Nigerians, people back home who come here and they want to eat white food. But me, I cannot eat UK food. They don't even have food. Do they have food? Like, they don't have food. Burger, chicken and chips, all those kind of things. And it's not my thing. If I don't eat eba in a week, if I don't eat eba in a week, I am not a happy child. I get depressed. Like, where is my bar? Where is my eba? The third thing is that you have to make some adjustments, including cultural adjustments. And you have to understand that people don't see you the way you see yourself. They see you first as black. Racism is so subtle these days, so quiet and small, that you, who is a black person, you may not really know that they are being racist against you. So you have to be very sharp to notice it, right? They do it quietly, subtle, like in small quantities, they dish it out, small like that. So many adjustments, including cultural adjustments. People here, they don't greet, right? Hi, that's all. They don't greet their elders. They don't. In church one day, I was quite polite to a lady, an advanced lady. And I was like, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That's how I talk to people. That's how I talk to everyone who is older than I am, who has served me, because she was serving cake or something. And I was like, thank you so much, ma'am. And she was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, what happened? She said, nobody talks to her like that. That she's happy that I talk like that to her because it shows that I'm well brought up. And I'm like, come on, it happens. We do it where I come from. It's a normal thing where I come from. Why are you so surprised? And she was like, they don't um, regard elders in that way. They may regard them in their heart or in their mind, but how they talk to people is not how you were raised as an African to talk to people. Even it's funny, even when I send mails to my professors or my lecturers, I call them doctor. I would say, dear Dr. Robert. It was quite funny. I call them by their qualification. And even when I speak to them, I don't use their first name. I use their last name. And I hear every other student calling these lecturers by their first names. And I'm like, you don't get respect. You don't get respect. For example, a lecturer's name is Teresa Martins. Oh, Teresa, about Ukraine's issue with Russia. And I'm like, who is Teresa? Are you calling her Teresa? Just like that? Can't you say Dr. Martin? In my mind. So when I address them, I say Dr. Martin. Or if I want to be a little bit, free, I say Dr. Teresa. But they don't do it. So you need to find that line of limits when you interact with people on different levels, not just in school, in church. When you are close to someone and you spend time with them over a period of time, you realize that they could be racist. These days, even racists do not know that they are racists. They may think that, oh my God, is that a big deal? I just said this, it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. You are a second-class citizen. I don't know how rich you want to be, but you are a second-class citizen. And no matter what you do, you can't be white, right? You can't be white. And these people don't even know much about me, about where I come from. And I know much about them. And you see someone say, your English is so perfect. How do you learn to speak such good English? And I'll be like, oh my God, English is my first language. I grew up with English. The first thing I heard from my mom was come. Come is English. So why can't I speak English? Why do you think that Africans do not know how to speak English? What is the basis of your reasoning, of your logic that Africa speaks ancient? How did we come about writing exams and passing them and coming here to study? They don't even know much about where you come from. They have no idea about who you are, about your culture, about how different it is, how beautiful it is. Actually, when I came here and I stayed for a while and I realized that, oh my God, we are actually better. Better. The reason why Africa as a continent is not doing well is because of greed and the corruption of our leadership. But apart from that, home is actually better than this place. So about the racist thing, when you interact with people on a deep level, you realize that it's just there. My lecturers, for example, do not expect me to do well. Like if I write a good paper, a good essay, they begin to ask, are you sure she was the one who wrote this essay? Are you sure she did not pay people to do the work for her? And then you hear them say, that is a good essay for an African coming from Africa. Is it that all my predecessors do not have sense or they don't know how to write essays? Because I know Nigerians, I know Africans, we are good at what we do. Yes, we are good. And do you tell this to every single African with an African accent who has lived in Africa, who studied in your school, who came to your class to study? Do you tell this to every single African who is doing well? So what were you expecting? That I should fail? That I should fail? Because we don't have sense, or because research shows that we have no sense? I don't understand. Africans have been coming to the UK to study for many years, even before I was born. So please. Another thing is when you're applying for a job in the UK, Your name, Adekumbi Adetunde. When you see that kind of name, you just know that this person is an African. Not just an African, someone who has that African heritage. And then you ask yourself, should I change my name? Should I get an English name? A shorter name, maybe? Because what are the chances of getting this job with this name? Living in the abroad could be very depressing. And if you're living alone, without family members, without siblings or cousins near you, it can be even worse. Call your family members every time for support. Call your family members every time for support, for encouragement is very important. Another thing is that you have to learn how to make your hair by yourself. Sometimes wigs can be tiring. So if you want to make your hair, you have to spend approximately £100. £100 is nothing less than 60,000 naira in Nigeria to make one hair. And you take it out in 3 to 4 weeks. So if you have kids, you have to learn how to make your kids' hair and all that. Finally, I want to talk about family members asking you not to come home. After your masters, don't come home. Stay there. Find a good job. Stay there and make it. Now, so to the carry maker. Now, so now, it's easy. Some people will tell you outrightly, if you come back, you don't fuck up. And then you feel like, oh my God, I don't want to come back. I want to get a job. I want to make it. And then they equate coming back to failing and then staying behind to success. Then they don't realize that staying behind might also mean failing sometimes. So please, parents, guardians, parents, friends, family members, stop telling your people, your children, not to come back. Stop making it look like if they come back, then they have failed in life or they have disappointed you, in quote. What is even success in the first place? What if they stay there and they have no job? I've seen people on the street begging, black people begging on the street because they have no place to stay, because they don't have a right to live and a right to work. So they cannot rent a house, even if they have money. They have millions of pounds, but they cannot rent a house because they don't have the right to live. No landlord will pick such person. They cannot work. So people cannot go back home because they have sworn not to go back home unless they make it. People can be in a foreign land and not making money out of it. So please, parents, when you ask your children to stay back and they have tried all their best, they have tried their possible best, don't tell them to, don't come back until you find your, come on. Life doesn't happen like that. And then what is success? So please, that's all I have to say. I guess this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for staying and watching. If you're new here, please subscribe. Every week, I intend to post videos about life in the UK, about life abroad, traveling around the world, academics, education, personal and professional development. Stay tuned for more. Thank you so much.